Okay, there we go. Is it too far in? Just a little bit. Right there. Welcome back, Gamer Chick Gonna Win. Nice to see you again. I am currently ripping off the cork on the Lazy Susan. I'll show you here. So I discovered when I was cleaning out the void that paint does not want to stick to the surface of this plastic. And I'm thinking, cork is great and all, but it's gonna hold a lot of these paint dribbles. So I thought, you know, let's just take it off. But on top of that, it would be even better if I could make a paint peeling video. I don't know if that's still relevant or not, but I could take a video of taking the paint off my Lazy Susan here, as well as the void, which I'll show you here in just a second. So, last night I decided it is time to clean out the void for sure. And that's exactly what I did. So the void is even more of a void. And this is what came out of it. I have a video posted on my Instagram of me peeling all of this leftover paint out from within. And this thing's hefty. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but like, look how thick that is. That's a corner piece, but like the entire lot is pretty much that thick. So it was way past time to clean it. So now we can have a fresh new start, kind of, sort of. Get everything back in place. Sorry for shaking the camera around. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today on this live stream Monday. We are going to be doing something a little different. Before I tell you what that different thing is, I want to share with you the results from last Monday's pour painting that I titled, Will It Warp? These are the first two that I worked on. And the video of these two is currently out. Just a little 4-minute video. It was all pretty straightforward. Hello, Cass. Nice to have you here with us. So that teal green that we tried, this one here, this was my first introduction to using this one, and it is called Tidal Wave Flash. It goes on like a muted green, almost like a teal green, but then it shines this brilliant blue, and I love it. Close-ups are on my Instagram page. You can check them out there. If you see any pictures or images, be sure to take a screenshot and send them to me. If via comments or private message, so that way I can add them to my videos. Okay, here is the second one that I worked on. Gonna zoom you guys out. This one was the used to be spray painting of an elk. And despite the spray paint having a very glossy feeling to it, the paint adhered really nice. And look at that flash. Oh my wow. That's gonna be a fun one. But yeah, whenever any of my spray paintings don't exactly go the way how I was hoping that they would, I will hold on to those canvases and repurpose them for pour painting. All right, and first good news of the live stream. For the question, the million-dollar question, will it warp? It did not. That makes me so happy. So this canvas I bought a while back, and the back here is paper. And it's hard to tell if this canvas was covered or pre-painted, sealed, or anything like that. And ones that I've had in the past with a similar backing, they've all curled and folded on themselves. But this one did not. Unfortunately, it looks like it did lose a lot of its luster now that it's dry. And I think those metallics kind of help to dull everything out. But once I figure out how to get some kind of a clear coat finish on it, I might have to look into resin. Then I'm sure all of those colors that we saw will pop once again. Because this one was just absolutely fabulous. And we do have a little bit of that teal in there, just right up along here. This one is going to be harder for me to get close-ups of just because the colors really blended a lot together. But I will try my best. So that's good news number one. More to come later. Today, instead of working on a regular canvas, we are going to try something different. This is an oven cover that I picked up at the dollar store. And I've done one of these before in the past. The surface is nice and smooth and glossy. But let me grab the one that I did a long time ago. It's a little bit on the dusty side, but this one actually has a fun little story. So this was when I was just starting to dabble in pour painting. And I wanted to do dark, moody, sea theme, something akin to that. So I painted this cover black, and then my colors obviously were blue, green, white, and well, a couple other different color or different shades of blue. And this texture that you see right up here never used to be there. I had put this in a box outside to dry, and I thought, you know, it's in its own little box. It's going to be safe. It's going to be completely fine and protected. And then somebody accidentally knocked that box over. This was upside down against the lid of the box. And it wasn't until I opened the box, discovered it had fallen, and peeled it off that I got these really cool marks on it. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like this. Like, I like it a lot better now than what it was when it was in there. Made it look even more like an ocean. So I decided to go outside, grab some sticks and driftwood that I have collected. We got some gemstones on there. We have a little bit of mother of pearl and some seashells. This is by far one of my favorites. So I doubt we're ever going to get anything similar on this one, but I have it and I just want to see if anything changes, if anything, like, this surface will not be painted on. It's possible that, well, clearly I have not had enough coffee, but this surface is so shiny, paint might not stick to it. And I just kind of, I can see paint peeling off, which might not be a bad thing. If anything, it might allow me to peel off the artwork and like glue it maybe onto a canvas. So this is going to be a fun little experiment. So for colors, I put up a poll on my YouTube account asking people what kind of color combinations they want to see. And so far, the vote has been more browns and reds. So even though spring is right around the corner, I am going to be doing more of a fall theme. And we're going to see what we get from it today. Let's start out with the ready to pour Fluid Art Gold. This stuff is so liquidy it might run off, so I won't put a whole lot in. And then we are going to go in with Nutmeg Brown. Then let's add Unnamed Orange. It's been my favorite lately. Kath says, making a cosplay right now, but the tail looks wrong. Uh-oh. I know, tails can be a little difficult to get the right shape. I've made a few in my past, but I don't really like to work with fur anymore, considering I already have 2 dogs, 3 cats, and fur is already everywhere. If I try and cut or stitch anything with fur, it's just, there's no getting rid of it. So I've had my fun. Okay, we're going to add just a little bit of yellow. This yellow is nice and thick, so I don't want to add too much for fear it might overtake. I've got a couple different reds. So there is my pinkish red, and then there is also this one here, Dollar Store Scarlet with water. And when I say dollar store, I do get some of my paints from the dollar store. They come in these little bottles here. And first of all, it saves me a lot of money. And second, it only takes 2 of those bottles to fill one of these up. And those dollar store paints are actually really, really thick. A lot thicker than I was anticipating when I first started using them. So you do have a little bit of wiggle room with them. And if you mix a store-bought paint like tempera or apple barrel and you mix them together, you can actually achieve some really neat results. There goes the homemade washed out red. Yeah, we'll call it washed out red. And then scarlet. Sorry for those of you who don't like the sound of shaking paint. I understand you. I always edit that sound out of my videos just in case. And do we have a paint skin? Maybe. Hope not. Okay, so there goes a red. Let's lighten it up a little bit. I'm not sure what to call this one. On camera, this is kind of like a, well, the bottle isn't evenly mixed up that well, but it's got like a, it's like a lipstick pink almost, but there is gold mica powder within it. This is another hodgepodge of different paint brands, and I've found a lot of success using different paint brand varieties as opposed to, you know, like just regular apple barrel and water soap Floetrol, or even Mod Podge. A lot of people like to mix any of those different ingredients into their paints to try and achieve cells or other effects. But I don't exactly follow that. I just kind of mix stuff together and see what I get. In my opinion, that's more fun. A little more artistic chaos in my life. Okay, so far we have gold, brown, nutmeg brown, unnamed orange, yellow, 2 different shades of red, a pink and gold. I just added black and nutmeg brown again. And next up is pumpkin orange. This one is from Apple Barrel. I've only added just a smidgen of water to it, so there's nothing fancy in there. This is also on the much thicker side. And to cut that, we are going to revisit the gold just to help thin that out a little bit. Okay, I think we have, whoops, I think we have plenty of paint in this cup. So let's see what we get. Oh yeah, look at that. All of the heavier paints are wanting, or is that heavier or lighter? All of the lighter paints are wanting to slide forward, so this is going to be interesting. See what I tell you, I get fur on everything. Looks like those reds are going to play a big part in this. This might not be so much fall theme. It might end up looking like a lava or fire. I don't know. Okay, so that's everything in there. Here's a look at the cup. That looks cool. Here's a look at the inside. Not bad. And we're going to flip that upside down off to the side. Yeah, the paint might just peel off of this. I'm kind of expecting it to. I'm thinking we should spin this one out. Let me make sure the Lazy Susan is all set up. Awesome. Take this away. And because this is such a smooth surface, we're probably going to lose a lot. Yeah, I agree, Kath. If it does peel off, it is going to be so smooth and so shiny. I can't wait. Ooh, don't fall over. I might have to do this one-handed. Okay, here we go. Wow, that was a bad spin. Whoops. What would I do to keep this from spinning off center? Getting rid of the cork so early might not have been a good idea. Well, you know what? So what if it's a little oblong? There we go. Okay, spin you guys right around. Stay. Good, good. Oh, this does look really cool. I like it. Might have to cut around the edge here after it dries, but stay. I like it. Why is my phone hot? Okay, here's a close-up. Very nice. Yellow bits look like hearts. Oh, like right here? Yeah, I kind of see it. Very nice. I didn't put any purple in there, but I'm seeing purple. See, that's the fun part about mixing different paint brands together. The formulas don't always mix, and so you do get some really interesting results. Gamer Chick Gonna Win says, kind of reminds me of the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I can see that. A little bit. Okay, let's take this side to dry. And let's do another one. For this one, I think it would be super fun to return to the monochromatics. And I am going to borrow this paint cup. So for this one, let's still keep it fall theme, but I am going to add green in it this time. Oop, oop. You guys did not see that. You did not see that. Okay, so this is Pine Tree Green from Apple Barrel. Well, actually it's Shamrock Green, but I think it looks more like a pine tree green. I have to make sure this lid snaps shut. Okay, let's add in our homemade spring green. Good amount of that. You know, I guess adding all of these colors is not monochromatic. I tried. It's very difficult for me to do. Okay, there goes our nutmeg brown. Oh, that's where that went. Okay, then we're going to add our pastel green. So while I'm adding colors to the cup, I will tell you the second paint skin. Oh, my dogs have opinions. Okay, so the second little bit of good news that I have is that now that the weather, although crazy, is becoming a little bit more stable, the local vendors markets are starting to appear here and there. And I have one spot, actually 2 spots solidified, meaning I have 2 for sure. How do I word this? 2 for sure events that I'm going to be a part of, and one of them is at my local Grange. Grange is like a community aid building or a place that you can rent out for parties, celebrations, or business advertising, kind of things like that. So if you are in the town of Longview or Kelso up in Washington, keep an eye out for the Rose Valley Grange. I will be there this year. It won't be until May 9th, I believe, or May 10th. And I will definitely have a booth set up. I am so excited to return. And lastly, in the town of Longview, there is a multi-story boutique that's called The Merc. It houses multiple businesses inside of it, and they were advertising an artisan's showcase. And after looking it up, an artisan is somebody who has a trade that is art related, like glass blowing, making homemade wine with distilleries, and you know, making sculptures, things like that. People who do this stuff for a business, for a living. And I don't. So I'm thinking, you know, they're probably not going to reach out to me, or they're not going to accept my application. But they did. I sent them my social media pages, and they sent me an email saying that they would like to have me as a part of their show. So I am super duper jazzed about that, especially after reading the part where they are hand-picking these people to be a part of their event. So that just makes it all the more special. I cannot wait. It'll be April 19th, and it will be down Commerce in Longview, Washington. So if you are around the area in that time, come by, stop and say hi, come check out the other vendors. I don't know all who will be there, but I am super excited to meet them, learn more about what they do, their business, all that good stuff. Okay, here is a look in our cup. Excuse me, I am going to twirl this around a little bit. Help just kind of pre-mix some of those colors and try something different. Okay, let's get this going. Oh yes, and stay tuned on my Instagram account or Facebook for future updates regarding these events. There is also a local venue in the town of Longview called Mi Familia. It will be operating on the weekends until October, I was told, weather permitting. And I do want to be a part of that. The fee is pretty much pay when you show up if you want to be a part of it. There's no commitment. So if I can only be there for one day, then that's absolutely fine. If I manage to find a weekend where the weather is going to be good enough for me to be out there, I will post about it and keep you guys in the loop about where I am so you can come say hi. Okay, here's a look in that cup. Very interesting if my camera wants to focus. Okay, and nothing really changed out here on the outside. So I don't think this one will fit on my Lazy Susan, but could give it a try anyway. I am going to try and keep this live stream a little bit shorter than my last two, just because my phone does not like it when I try to edit an hour-long live stream. Even though I cut out a bunch of content just for the sake of the poor, the internet has not been good recently. So I am going to try and keep today a little bit on the shorter side. I at least want to try and get the edges. So far there's not a whole lot of change going on there in the center. But not bad. How about we grab a skewer and manipulate some of the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bamboo skewer and kind of just dunk it in the paint so that way I don't muddy everything. And let's just I don't remember adding white in there. I kind of don't want to mess with it too much, because there's a lot of little bits in here that are just super cool. Yeah, I like the green in it too. I think that was actually a good move. Just to help break things up. Yeah, I don't think there's too much I really want to move around here. Certainly is a lot going on though. I'm not too sure if I like it or not. Who knows? A lot of my opinions change after things dry. So I'll be interested to see how I feel about this afterwards. There is gold metallic in there, gold metallic paint. So we'll see what happens. And if this does manage to peel off, then maybe you guys can put in some suggestions in the comments. Help me figure out what to do with them. Or at least, at the very least, what to put them on. So don't be afraid to message me, send me your comments, take pictures of my artwork if you see anything. One of the pour paintings I did last Monday, I saw a hat. Other ones, I've seen a shoe. I've seen butterfly wings. But I just want to see whatever sticks out to you. Alrighty, I am going to call it there for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe to see more and check out my previous artworks that I've done in the past. Follow me on my Instagram for any updates regarding the upcoming vending events I will be a part of. I will be sure to keep y'all in the loop. And every Monday, I go live here on YouTube around 2 o'clock. So it'd be really awesome if you could come by, hang out, say hi. And as always, I will see you next Monday. Bye for now.